DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Welcome to DJNTV and Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe. Now introducing the one and only Ben Stowe.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Good evening and welcome. This is the night you've been waiting for. A lot of you have been saying, hey, what would be cooler than just asking Ben Stowe questions?
Ice cold. Oh, wait.
Ice cold. No, no, close.
It's cooler than, no?
Ice cold. No, we're close. We're close.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're just
What's cooler than cool? The weather outside.
Shake it. Right.
Hey, speaking of cool, not to get us sidetracked already, but I got to send a quick shout out because he sent a shout out to me on his Twitch stream tonight. So, hey, fair's fair to DJ Special J. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the very kind words. And thank you for being a great customer. So
excellent. We've got some folks jumping in. David, JC, Trevor, Scrappa there with us, and Freddie, Chris Davis. Excellent. Thank you guys for jumping in and being with us tonight. So tonight's show is about questions and answers. If you have a question you'd like me to ask Ben, you can put that into the chat. If it's I'm seeing names everywhere. So typically when it gets Facebook, it says Facebook user, and I don't know who put the questions or the comments up there. But so far I see Chris and Freddie, both of you are on Facebook, and I see your name. So maybe it's
what's up, Chris and Freddie? How are you guys?
It's great. This is excellent. So if you have questions, I've got some on deck. But we can always add a couple more if they're really good questions. So, Ben, these are questions that I put it into one of the chat rooms, and I said, "Hey, if you guys have any questions for Ben," and there was a couple of them that came through from the chat room. So, pretty excited to get some of these answers. Especially, there's one of them that just stands out as an incredible question, and it wasn't even mine. So, I'm just gonna say
I need to start spending time in the chat rooms because I'm thinking, it would have been good to know these questions ahead of time. I was telling, I just mentioned DJ Special J Rob. I was just talking to him about this earlier, and I said, yeah, it's I don't think he's ever watched our show before. And I said, well, tonight is sort of like a free for all. It's like I'm a duck in a shooting gallery. I don't have any time to prepare. I don't have any hidden computer screens or research material. It's just, well, hope I know the answer to this.
Here we go.
So I got a question for you. Where's the ice cream?
I know, man. It happened like a couple of times, and we were thinking this could be a regular part of the show, and then
I think I got an answer for you. I've been working from home since March. And normally I'm on the road 200 days a year. So just do the math real quick. Normally I'm on the road more than I'm home. Okay. Now I have not left this house really, save for, a couple of short errands or anything, since March. Like I know where the ice cream's at. It's get it yourself is where the ice cream is.
It's pretty much where they're waiting for their ice cream. Oh, well, great. We got some more people jumping in. I got Eric there with us. Robin's with us. Russell. Big Earn is with us. We got a lot of folks tonight.
Big Earn, my man. What's up?
Chat room, if you've got it, or in the chat if you got a question. So Ben, let's start with our very first one. What is one piece of gear that you look back in the Ben Stowe history that you look back fondly at and be like that? Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a piece of gear I really, really loved. But something you used.
I think there could be a lot of things. I think like a lot of people, I like gear and I get attached to it. And I think fondly about, that gear. I remember one year I was, and unfortunately due to the frequency repack, I was retiring a very expensive intercom system, a very big rack full of intercom gear. And it and I had been through many, many battles of Division I football, and I realized the battle's on the field, but for us nerds, that battle's happening on the sideline too, right?
Oh, for sure.
In the airwaves. And I knew that this was the last game I was ever going to do at this rack. Now, I know this sounds weird to some people, maybe not to everybody watching, but I actually took a picture with the rack when the game was done, and it was headed off to a semi-trailer, and I was headed to the airport. Because, I just felt like we'd been through 10 seasons and I'm like, sure, man, we've been through a lot. High stakes games, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite. I just think that's one example of many examples of gear that, it serves us well. It does its job like a trusty companion. It helps us take ourselves and our careers to the next level. So, and I wanted to tell that story before I went to my answer, but I felt like I had my answer as soon as you asked the question, because I can see the piece of gear, and so can you. Everybody can see that light back there made out of coffee cans, which is almost 30 years old. And I think all of us had some piece of gear like that, maybe, where we couldn't afford to buy gear or, whatever. There was just a video posted on the Ben Stowe and Friends Facebook group. And it's a guy in it looks like a kind of a hut with like a thatched roof or something. And he's plugging and unplugging an accordion really fast to make I thought, that's all of us. That's right. That's rock and roll. That guy is living the dream. He is jamming out just like all of us. And so I'm going to say one of my favorite pieces of gear, and I'll just say it's the one because it's the only one on display. It would have to be the things that launched my career, the things that launched me from living in a homeless shelter to the path that I'm on today.
Excellent. The cream corn can lights.
People used to say, "What brand are your lights?" And I say, "Hills Brothers."
Hills Brothers, and they're deliciously. Okay, the
rest of that story is in the DJNTV Insider area, I believe, right, John?
Yeah, we've talked about that, and you did a presentation on that, and that is in the DJNTVtraining.com in the Insiders area. Okay, we got quite a few questions coming here, so. So this one, it was a longer thing. I'm going to kind of paraphrase. Basically, what they're asking is they're doing some live stream setups, and they purchased a couple of different lights for their live stream, and they were supposed to be 3,500 K.
Kelvins.
Yep. And we're wondering because one said it was 3,500 and it was a different color than another brand that was 3,500, and they're wondering is the Kelvins a universal measurement, or is it just kind of like it's something that they just say and it doesn't really match up?
Well, let me answer the question this way. It should be. That's the reason it works. It's not like if you had, two different thermometers that 98.6 is a different temperature. It's supposed to be consistent, right? Your home thermometer, your doctor's thermometer, they should all match. Now, when we talk about color temperature, we're not talking about, a thermometer temperature, but similarly, it should match, right? If you take two rulers, an inch is an inch, right? So 3,500 Kelvins, coincidentally named after, Lord Kelvin, who got his name from a river, but that's a long story. It should be the same. I don't know anything about the brands or where you got them or whatever.
Yeah, that wasn't said, but they were just wondering if it was supposed to be a consistent.
Well, I'll just kind of leave it unsaid because I think I just said it being unsaid. I think that's where your answer is one of those is wrong.
Okay. I got some people who want to. Can you grab your coffee can light in the back, please?
Yeah.
They want to see it. There's folks in the chat who haven't seen it before, so.
I actually have like 8 of them, but I keep one on display.
Yeah. There it is, a piece of history.
Not exactly the safest thing. All kinds of reasons. Sharp edges being one reason. It's highly conductive being another.
Yes, it would be, wouldn't it?
It's. But you know what? And a little L brackets to mount the gels too, so I can have gels.
Oh yeah. You had her. Excellent.
Yeah, but you know what? It launched a career, and I laugh about that now as I get to use mixing boards that cost what a house does. I get to use a PA that costs what a neighborhood does, and people say, well, you don't understand. I'm on a budget. No, I do understand. I just want to help you avoid some of the mistakes I made. Because when money's tight, you want to spend it wisely. Yeah. And I think now more than ever, it was so prescient. That I would give that presentation at your show, not really fully understanding the gravity. Certainly, I was working on that presentation long before we even had a name for COVID or knew it was a thing. And by the time I was giving that presentation, the storm clouds had very much gathered, but I don't know that any of us fully understood the impact that has happened or is yet to happen. But I think the presentation was perfectly prescient. I think it was, I think we can take the lessons of the past and we can apply them forward. And, I think that now, again, is one of those times when people say, well, you don't understand. Maybe I do.
Maybe you do. Yeah,
maybe I do.
We got to keep moving along here, Ben, because we got some.
Oh, I was on my soapbox.
Get off your soapbox for a minute. I'll give you like a minute between each session, and that's your soapbox. Okay.
All right.
Somebody's asking about wireless microphones, 9-volt rechargeable or AA. Which one would be the best option for the best life and best distance?
It depends. It really comes down to the circuitry inside. Most modern wirelesses now are running off AA's. Most of those are running in a series configuration, so they're operating on 3 volts as opposed to 9 volts, but we're able to do more. One could argue that more power from a battery, is better, but I don't think that's really the case anymore. So I don't think it matters. I guess in summary, I would say that is the last thing I would look at when I'm buying a mic. Mm-hmm. So many more things would be much more meaningful to me, like the transmit power, the tunable range, frequency agility, how many kilohertz is each step. I mean, I could name, I would say, even the color of the mic is probably more important than the battery it uses to me. I mean, I could just go down and that probably wouldn't even be on the list when I get all said and done.
Okay. Good information. Next question. This one comes from the chat room. This one is, if I worked at NLFX Pro and I couldn't wrap cables with the over and under method, would you fire me?
I'd teach you.
Oh, there you go, Robin. He would teach you.
Oh, Robin? Oh, you know what? I could never fire Robin. I love Robin. Besides, I have it on good authority that you served this country in the Air Force. I'm certain that you can be taught to wrap a cable. So
I would think Robin probably wraps cables.
I saw her operating a forklift with like a 4,000-pound capacity. You know what, Robin? You could work for me any day. So,
okay.
I just want to put a disclaimer. We're not hiring right now due to the pandemic. So,
this is but okay. Next question. If I don't have any shows for a couple of months, what should I do to store my gear for the winter seasons? So, is there any tips or anything that they should do before they basically put stuff on the shelf for a few months off?
Yeah, don't. Gear needs love. You should take that gear out and just play with it a little bit. Not for any reason. It doesn't. It's not that the gear. You just should. Right? Gear needs love, and so do you. You need your gear. Your gear needs you, and you need your gear. I think there's a few things. We did a show on cold weather storage.
Yep.
Climate control isn't always possible for everybody, but particularly batteries. We did a show on batteries. If they're lithium ion, I would say keep them about half charged. Don't have them all the way charged and don't have them all the way discharged. It depends on the battery type, though. So just watch that show because I don't want to get too far into the weeds here. But as far as everything else goes, no, not really. Fog machines and atmospherics, make sure that they're cleaned and reprimed and whatnot before storage. Sort of the disclaimer, follow the manufacturer's directions. But everything else, I don't think, my gear's been sitting since March, and I need to go play with it because my gear needs me and I need my gear.
Yeah, got to keep in practice. The next question is probably the most important question of the night. So we know
the ice cream question's back.
No. We know that ObiWan has been seen on the set of The Mandalorian, or was seen on the set of Mandalorian when they were filming. If ObiWan appears in a Mandalorian episode, will that blow Star Wars fans' minds more than when Ahsoka comes on The Mandalorian here in a few weeks? Which one would be more mind-blowing?
Okay, so I got another one for you. I'll put in here. First of all, Ahsoka. I mean, I literally turned to my kids, who of course are all Star Wars fans, and my son, particularly an Ahsoka fan, and I said, Ahsoka. It's like that's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. Anyway, I think I mentioned this before on a previous show, but it bears repeating just in case I didn't. When I was working with a musician last year, back when we used to tour, remember those days?
Yeah.
And the musicians, touring musicians and touring sound people, and people who they just have great ears and sounds are meaningful to them, right?
Yep.
Not unlike our DJs. DJs are very much artists as well, and sounds are meaningful to you, right? He recalled in a scene in The Mandalorian where the bounty hunter was left in the desert, hearing the sound of spurs when Mandalorian armor walked up, and all you saw was really from the knee down of this bounty hunter. He recalled hearing that same sound when Boba Fett walks in during Empire Strikes Back. So we quickly pulled up both episodes and movies on our, thanks to Disney Plus, and we were checking this out. And my gosh, he was spot on. So now, of course, they've teased. We saw Boba Fett's armor, and it was not Boba Fett. Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched the Mandalorian to this point, you deserve the spoiler alerts. You have not earned the right to not know. So that's my opinion. But then, of course, we saw another character that we don't know. Maybe Boba Fett has decided, hey, I'm not wearing my armor anymore. I'm not following the way of the Mandalore. So. I think they're all pretty cool, and I think what's really cool is you've got people who love Star Wars and who are excited about Star Wars that are writing these things, and that's what's keeping us all on the edge of our seats. So, yeah, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, Boba Fett. I think there'll be more.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I like how it's episodic, and they're kind of all like these little spaghetti westerns, and they just sort of stringing us along.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's keeping us engaged, and it's building the universe, and it's telling a new story, and I'm digging that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And Mike, if you indeed hadn't watched any of the episodes, seriously, we could tell you what everything happened, and then you watch it, and it would still be fulfilling. These are so well done that you can know what's coming, and you go back and watch them again, and there's little things you missed the first time through. They've done a really good job.
They're like mini movies. The production value on these is really very, very good.
Yeah.
So
Okay, our next question. What would you recommend for a live streaming studio, like for camera and lighting, to get started and to deal with sound? Is there anything that just jumps out at you for a couple of products you can mention?
Yeah, I think it depends on what, if you're just doing something like this where, talking head, here I don't really have anything special for lighting. I am bouncing lighting off the wall, so it's diffusing a little bit, sort of a poor man's, softbox, if you will. I have an EV RE320 mic, same as you. Yours is in frame. Mine's just out of frame. I have a PreSonus audio interface. They and Focusrite are a couple of great options. Tascam, they all have pretty good preamps. They're going to do the job. Basically, you need a way to get the audio into the computer, and you need a way to get the video into the computer. Now, depending on what you're doing, that whole situation could change. There's a ton of products out there. Roland's VR1 little streaming switcher is dynamite. Of course, the ATEM series from Blackmagic, the Mini Pro, Mini, ISO, those are super hot. It's really a deep and twisty rabbit hole, I think.
Yeah, real quick, because there are just so many options available out there with that.
We've got something new. Well, it's not new, but it's might as well be new because it's been out of stock all year. But it's back in stock. The Marantz turret, we have those back in stock. We've got some killer little deals of a USB. It's a dynamic cardioid USB mic and a set of headphones for like $120. So we've got about 50 packages of that in stock. For about $129, we can throw in a microphone boom arm. Anyway, I think, like I said, the answer, as our viewers have come to know and love, is it depends, but it really, really does.
Yeah, and if you guys are really interested in getting some things and looking for advice, give Katie, Ben, give them a call up there at nlfxpro.com. You get the phone numbers off the website, and they can walk you through and get you what you need for your situation. Let's see. I want to go here because you were just talking about gear and some special pricing. Somebody had asked about when's the best pricing going to be? Is it going to be on Black Friday or what? Because they figured they needed to spend some money here before the first of the year because of not buying anything the whole year.
Well, yeah, you don't want to give it to the tax man, I think, we've got some great specials running right now. Black Friday, everybody kind of plays it a little close to the vest. I think we will see some Black Friday specials. I know of a few. I would love to tell you I know of all of them, but I don't. And one of the reasons I think that maybe on the engineering front, I'm very much in the know. On the specials front, they keep me a little more in the dark because I love my customers too much and I blab. So I can't really not tell you. To me, I can't keep those secrets. So I think we'll see some Black Friday promotions here, maybe even next week. Kat probably is more in the know than me, but I don't think. I mean, I think that'll be the best. I think at that point, that's kind of the best. I actually know some prices are going up. Ape Labs is going up April, November. What is this? Is this 2020?
It is. It is, and we just flashed back. It's great.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't want to go back.
The DeLorean going out.
I want to go forward. Excuse me. Ape Labs pricing is going up on November 20th, so just a couple days. That I know. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you that, and that might be one of those reasons they don't tell me anything.
No, well, not a big deal. Got another question here from a gentleman in the chat room. Was wondering, what is your training regimen like now after losing the last wrestling match as you prepare for an eventual future rematch?
I kind of fell off the wagon, to be honest with you. I haven't been hitting the weights as hard. I think I need to take a picture of Howie and tape it on the wall. I need to just take pictures of Howie all over the house, so everywhere I see him, and I'm mindful of that horrific defeat, and then I got to be motivated to do better, I guess. I'm gonna find this picture. Let's see. That was 150 years ago.
Yeah,
I was
or February.
Or February.
Yeah.
I was close.
Kat and Katie are not. Kat is the marketing, and she does her side of thing. Katie is in the sales area.
Correct. They are not the same person. They do not even live in the same state. They are two very different people, but both wonderful people. Both working very hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and both are there to help. You can reach us via live chat on our site. You can reach us at customercare@nlfxpro.com, or our emails are really simple: Katie, Katie, or Kat, Kat. What's really confusing, by the way, is they have the exact same initials. Their initials are KLC, both of them.
I guess I didn't realize that. I knew.
Oh, it's
Katie. I knew hers obviously because she uses those on Facebook. But that's
right. Yep. And I don't think Kat will be mad at me for telling you. So, all right, I got this picture. So, in case you're wondering what in the world John's talking about, there was this little incident at John's show in February where I was a pretty good wrestler back in the day. I wasn't too bad. I think a lot of people are surprised to find out that I was a geek, but I was also a varsity wrestler, a multi-year letter winner, state qualifier. Anyway, I got schooled by the old man, though. You know what? He was a lot quicker than I thought he'd be. So now it's rematch time.
That's Howie Darkstar. For those of you who haven't seen Howie in the chill room, he's there and does a lot of things with us here on DJNTV. So love Howie.
Always beware of the quiet guy. You didn't see it coming.
Okay, let's jump back to questions. Let's see, where are we at? A question about 5G. Specifically, how will 5G have any effect on our wireless microphones?
Yes, but if it does, it's your fault. So basically, 5G is just a marketing name. It literally means different things, even to the same carriers. So there's a lot of ways that they're deploying 5G. Some of it is in very, very high frequency, which has nothing to do with us. But a lot of that is also in the 600 megahertz range, particularly T-Mobile, where they spent something like $8 billion to buy frequency that was auctioned off in 616 to 698. So if you're operating in those frequencies, which are no longer permissible to us, which is a fancy, nice way of saying it's illegal for us to operate there anymore, you're going to lose. They have a lot more power and they have a lot more bandwidth, and they also have a right to be there and you don't. So yes, it absolutely can cause havoc. And, you and I have been talking about this, John, for 4 or 5 years. We've been talking about the repack. We've been giving people updates about the repack. I'm not scolding or shaming you if you don't know, but I'm saying the information, it didn't just pop up on us, is my point. And it does surprise me how many people are just now saying, I don't know why my mic quit working. My mic worked. It worked 6 months ago. Now it doesn't work. Right. It's exactly what we told you was going to happen. So unfortunately, it is real. And just as I said earlier in my story, I had to retire that rack was probably $85,000 when it was new. Granted, we used it for 10 seasons, but still, nobody likes to get rid of gear that's working perfectly well. Moral of the story: if you're operating in the range of 616 to 698, and T-Mobile has towers deployed in your area, which they probably do now, it isn't going to work great, and you need to move.
We've got a few things coming in here. Thank you guys for the questions. For power conditioning, they're wondering APC or a Furman, and why?
You can't say based on the brand alone. We have to look at what's being deployed inside. You and I have done some great shows on power conditioning. Yep. In fact, one night you were off doing whatever it is Royalty does, and Chris stood in, fellow Minnesotan stood in with me, and we did a show too. And both of those shows are really worth the watch. We open power conditioners up, we take a look under the hood, and I think you can see Furman Merit Series is not at all to be compared to Furman Classic Series. So simply saying Furman doesn't really answer anything. And likewise, APC. I can't answer it on those merits. Watch the show.
Yeah, we dug into that.
And message me with specific model numbers if you want. And I'm not trying to evade the question, but I don't think there's any way in the time we have here that I can give an honest, thoughtful answer. Besides, I did it. It's in the video. Go watch it.
Another question. Anything coming down the line from Eevee, like a new Evolv? Question mark.
I think now here again, there's things I know and there's things I'll say. I'll say what I think won't get me in trouble because I these are things I believe to be true. I don't think we're going to see a bigger Evolv anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean maybe 2 years, a year, maybe the soonest. I'd be stunned knowing what I know about the process if it comes any sooner. What I do think we might see within the next year would be like an Evolv 50M. Now, I can't say that because I have any great insider knowledge. I think that's just sort of reasonable,
logical
deduction. Yeah. The technology's worked very well in the Evolv 30M, and the Evolv 50 is a proven, tried and true warrior. We can simply add some mixing capabilities to that. So I think we may see an Evolv 50M, but we're not going to see an Evolv 100. There were rumors of an Evolv 70. No such model number even exists. We're not. I wish it were true. I think that if I was to guess, what we might see in the future, I don't know. The line's pretty complete. They're pretty happy with ETX. They're pretty happy with EKX. ELX 200 just recently refreshed.
Yeah.
Really no reason to refresh ZLX. You start looking at where are the gaps in their line. They don't have a lot. I think we'd all like to see a battery powered solution. I can't say if anything like that is in development. I just truly don't know. I know that I've beaten that horse many, many, many times. But with the things like the pandemic, certainly engineering has to be more difficult for them. You can't have people crowded together in an anechoic chamber and, that sort of thing. So I'm only speculating here. But I don't think you're going to see anything major in terms of loudspeakers in the next year or two. In fact, I laughed the other day on the forum. One of the forums, somebody said something about ETX being, pretty dated. I'm like, pretty dated? But loudspeakers aren't DJ controllers. They don't update these every year. They get it right, and these things have they're out for 10 years. So I don't think we're going to see anything new. Not in the near future.
Do you think DJ speakers are going to be going wireless at some point in time successfully?
Wireless how?
And I'm wondering. Let's get away from the battery. Let's leave that. But let's take it from a standpoint. We've talked Bluetooth and the problems with that. Is there a wireless audio transmission technology that would work in the DJ industry and be reliable enough? Do you think that's out there?
Yeah, and we did that show too. Of course, I know you know that, but viewers, you can go watch that show. I think we covered it really well. The good, better, the best. Sort of the good, the bad, the ugly kind of thing. Will we see that built into speakers? I really doubt it. And here's why: cost. Now they have to make two models because they can't make a model that simply has the wireless included because it makes the model too expensive. So they'll lose sales to a competitor that doesn't have wireless because 99% of the world doesn't need wireless. For your mains, I wouldn't recommend going wireless anyway, reliable or not. I wouldn't do it. The runs are usually pretty short. Copper's pretty reliable, inexpensive. I would do that. That's just me. But yeah, there absolutely are technologies that I feel are tried and true and trusted for satellites. I just don't think we're going to see that built in. Not really, not at a pro level anytime soon. The irony is we see that sort of thing at the lower level more, where we have $200 speakers with a wireless mic built in. Well, if a quality wireless mic all by itself is $500, guess what your $200 speaker with a wireless built in is? It is what it is,
Freddie, I'm going to kind of rephrase your question just a little bit. So he was asking about the weight, the Evox in Evox 12, but are we going to see more speaker manufacturers coming out with a white version, or is the white version kind of a passing fad in your opinion?
Long, thoughtful breath there.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking, it's like, oh, that's pretty impressive. I don't get that kind of a response very seldom. By now, you've gone on 3 different tangents usually.
Yeah, well, this is artistic, which is different. And artistic is difficult to predict. I don't think white is a passing fad. I don't know how long it will be around. Maybe a very long time. But if you just look at the evolution of what DJ systems used to look like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we're seeing that even now with things like the command center, pedestal type look, as opposed to traditional racks and facades. And there's no one way here. But I think we're seeing a lot of people that are really buying into the white look. I think it certainly has an elegance and it matches event decor. I also think it depends. I think we probably will see more things come out in white. I think particularly as manufacturers, like, for example, we talked about Eevee. Well, if you don't have any substantial technology changes that make sense, what's something you can do to freshen up a line? Add white.
Yeah, for sure.
Ta-da! Now we've got white. But I think if you also look at where it's positioned, I think it tells you a lot about these lines. Again, these are my words and not anybody else's, and somebody might take serious umbrage with this or issue, but this is an opinion. I don't think we'll see a white ETX. It's not really who it's aimed for. Sure. ETX, is a weapons grade speaker. It's, a bit more powerful, kind of, more venue, regional touring, that sort of thing, where white isn't really a demand. Where we see white typically is in things that will be used by DJs at, weddings and that sort of event. I would love to see a white EKX because I think EKX is just a brilliant bang for the buck. It's my favorite bang for the buck, for DJs. And an install. We see a lot of white stuff for install, House of Worship particularly. But I don't know. It's hard to say when will white suddenly become not vogue anymore? I don't know.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Let's see. What's John here, day and night asked, what's one piece of gear, what one piece of gear should every DJ have, but very few do?
I'll give you 2.
Okay.
I could probably make it more than 2. I think we did a show a while back on what's in Ben's toolbox. What could Ben not live without? That sort of thing.
Yes, we have done that. Yep.
So, shameless plug, but I believe what I'm saying here, our Moat cable tester, the mother of all testers, you should have one. They're $59. They should be back in stock in December. We covered that in a show last week, worth a watch, but you should have one. It doesn't get any cheaper than that for something that could save your bacon. And second thing I would say would be a multimeter, an electrical multimeter. Now our Moat does have a continuity tester. So it does some basic functions. I was trying to get that into the hands of people, but I think a multimeter. Those would be two things that I think every DJ should have, and many DJs do not. I cannot believe how many times I'm troubleshooting something or trying to help somebody with an issue, and I say, "Do you have a multimeter?" You know, and it's not a rhetorical question. I'm really hoping you'll say yes, because then you can give me meaningful data that will tell me how to solve your problem. And they're like, "No, I don't."
I don't have one. Yeah.
And you can get a cheapie. I mean, we even sell cheap ones, but I'm not sure I'd buy the ones we have. But you can go to, I think any home improvement store, and you can get these things for $20-$30 maybe. You don't need scientific accuracy. Close counts here.
Yeah, it'll get you pretty much right there. Next question. Because of the Pioneer controller that came out today, people were talking about RCA cables, and they were wondering, are pretty much RCA cables, are they pretty much the same, or does a person need to get like gold plated or some really super high end funky RCA cables to get a decent sound from a controller?
So another thoughtful sigh here.
Wow,
this is more of a sigh than a reflective breath.
Well, let me start it out. We've done a couple of shows on wires over the years, so there's wire shows out there. So I beat you to that part. So now take it from there, please.
And listen, you should watch these shows. Honestly, it's what we did them for. I'm not getting paid by the click or anything like that, but there's a lot of good information in there where we drilled into these topics a bit deeper. Plus, you get to see what we looked like before the pandemic. I look 20 years younger.
And he was like a foot taller. It was incredible. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I can tell you. Gravity. Is gold a better conductor than, nickel or any other? Yes, it is. Does it matter? Not really. When we're talking about the caliber of the output on an RCA, and we're talking about gold plating on a connector that then is soldered to copper and then goes, down the line. And I have a hard time believing the gold makes that much difference in the sound quality, while it is a better conductor. Now, am I saying that all RCA cables are the same? No, I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. There are certainly advantages to buying a better cable. Now, I've seen cables that are like $40,000 or some absurd thing. You see these articles. That's nonsense. I'm sorry. If you have a $200 controller and a $500 speaker, you don't need a $40,000 cable. You're not going to yield any result from that. But you probably don't want a dollar cable. The biggest differences are going to be in noise rejection and longevity. So, no, they're not all created the same, but I think there's a point of diminishing returns.
Got it. Jason got a great question here. Is there a way to tell the difference between a DMX cable and an XLR cable, a mic cable, and that, just by looking at them without the labeling? Because there's sometimes where the labeling...
Well, I had an answer, but then you kept talking. So.
I know that...
You saw me going for my answer.
And he actually specifically said without labeling, so...
No. Probably not. No. Okay. We have labeled ours.
Yep, there it is, microphone cable.
To make it very easy.
20 gauge, by the way.
Short answer is no, probably not. You'll have to look for some type of clue. Hopefully there's some labeling on it. If it says low noise audio cable, it's probably an audio cable. Mm-hmm. If it says digital audio cable, it could be a DMX cable. Digital audio operates at 110 ohms, and it's a digital signal, not an analog signal, and it's fundamentally almost identical to the digital signal of DMX. So I think that's kind of one of the key words. Look for digital, which, by the way, is the first name of DMX, digital multiplex. Other people ask me, well, can I just take my multi-tester that you just told me to get and check it with that? No, you can't, because that's going to check DC resistance. It will not check impedance, which is a product of frequency. So you would need a tester that's like, $10,000 or $20,000 to check it. Trying to make a long answer out of a short question, but no. If there's no labeling on it whatsoever, now, if you opened it, you could tell. You can look at the construction and probably make a reasonable deduction there. But no, there's no quick and easy way. Once you do figure it out, though, label that sucker.
Yeah, for sure. That's when you take your little thing and mark it well.
By the way, that's something I should mention. So we use on our Platinum Series cables, here is one that is very road-worn and battle-tested. Excuse me. We use the Nitric XX Series connectors, and they have this little black ring that spins here. Mm-hmm. You can see me spinning the ring. And what's really cool is you do not have to do anything other than unscrew this connector. And this ring then can come off. And we have colored ones that you can buy for, I don't know, a quarter or something. They're not very expensive. So my point is there's no soldering involved. Anybody can do this, no matter how afraid you are of technology. If you can operate counterclockwise and clockwise, you can do this.
Ooh, you had me up until that point.
I know it did. I was thinking a few people it rules out, but not our viewers. Anyway, so you can get a colored ring, and I've done this on subsnakes and other things, just as quick identifiers. So if you say, fine, I'm going to make all my DMX with a blue ring. I use blue for DMX. I don't know why. I just do. Mm-hmm. We'll just pretend that's a blue ring. Put that on. Put the shell back on. Twist it back on. And you can do that. You can do that for length. You can do that for a variety of things. Mm-hmm. So that's really one option.
Easy identification.
But again, our cables are labeled on the side of the jacket. You'll be able to know by looking at the jacket. That's just if you want a little bit quicker way to identify by color.
Yeah, very neat idea. And then you take those little black, and you can list those in the marketplace as cheap engagement rings.
It's not really my ring size, but yeah, I think that would be they're very small.
I mean, it would be great, and for those people who go through a few in their course of their dating world, they might.
You know what? I would respect the heck out of somebody that I saw wearing a Nitric XX Series ring. I mean, that is rock and roll right there. I would just say, those are my peeps right there.
Okay, we did have one more question, or maybe it was a thought about some future shows. And I'm sorry, I don't remember who did this. I'd have to scroll back up and find it. But they were wondering if we've done a show on creating specific ceremony sound systems, like kind of maybe more of an entry level, kind of a mid-level and advanced. And we have talked ceremony on a few occasions, but I don't know if we broke it down into different levels like that. So
no, I don't know if we did, and if we don't remember, then it's probably worth doing again.
So I think that we'll put that on the docket here, coming up here in the next few weeks. That we'll tackle that a time or two to hit some of those things, because they gave a really nice talking about some different aspects of it. So thank you for that. Thank you, Freddie. I thought it was good, Freddie, but I didn't want to say for sure because we've had a lot. The chat's been really busy tonight.
And thanks everybody. I love that, when you say Freddie, I know exactly who you're talking about, Robin, John, Ern, whoever it is, that I know your names. I see your faces. I hear your voices. I miss seeing you. I miss, being together with you soon enough. Look, 90% efficacy, 94.5% efficacy on these vaccines. Hang in there, folks. We're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
Never before has science been leveraged against something like this. Maybe not since the Apollo missions. So we just got to hang on a little bit longer. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And I think we're going to be seeing each other again soon. But I just love that I can that when you ask your questions, viewers, that I know who you are, and it just means so much coming from you.
For sure. It's great to see everyone hanging out and having a good time tonight. So, gang, we're going to wrap things
up.
Except
Howie.
Except Howie. Yes, Howie D from New Jersey has it quite.
Exactly. That guy.
That guy.
He won fair and square. I'm not a sore loser. He won fair and square.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Ben, thank you much for being a great sport tonight and answering some questions. Thank you guys for some great questions out there tonight. I actually had a couple of additional ones that we'll put off till the next time. So we'll be back in about 15 minutes tonight. Jay Brannon, by the way, this is a world debut. This will be the first time that new Pioneer controller is going to be debuted or talked about or shown on a live show. So if you've got some questions about the new, and I don't even remember the model number for it, but basically it's the one that came out today that's Record Box and Serato Pro capable. It's a cool little device, and we'll be talking about that and showing it here at the next show as we talk about making the perfect controller for the mobile DJ. So that'll be kind of a fun show tonight. So,
and if you want to make pre-orders, Kat, Katie, me, whoever,
excellent.
Please reach out.
That sounds great. And you can go to nlfxpro.com, and that link is in the description below, gang, and we will catch you in about 15 minutes. Thanks.